After having worked with 32 CEOs on their AI company strategy, I can very confidently tell you that 99% of CEOs are using AI in completely the wrong way. They are not using it where it should be used, and they're using it and automating things that should absolutely not be used. And if you're not right now seeing a very positive return on your AI spend, you're not seeing like 10, 20x return on investment, and you're not making a boatload of money with AI, this video might be the most important video you will ever watch on AI, because how you think about these things and make these decisions will determine sort of the fate of your company. Because if you automate the wrong things with AI, where AI is not good, for example, copy and certain decisions that I will soon go into, then you are completely just hammering your growth. And then on the other side, if you're not automating certain parts of your business, you're just leaving a lot of money on the table. You're not going fast enough, and the competition will be ruthless with you. So to get into the points, the first one is what I just mentioned: trying to automate high leverage decisions and very nuanced details. And what I mean by this is that AI is not the most innovative partner in a business. In some parts, yes, AI can be very good. It can get a lot of data, and it can come up with innovating approaches when analyzing the data. That is completely true. But in many cases, when you're sort of trying to make big decisions for your company, you have ultimately a lot more context than AI has. And one of the reasons for this is that you have probably not been using AI for that long. You have not fed AI all of your context, and AI doesn't really understand your vision and your big picture. It's a different story if AI actually has the data from your last year's emails, different files, your calls with your team, your sales calls, and actually has a very grasp understanding of your business, and you have fed it in your visions, your goals for the future, what sort of outcomes you want for the business, and where you're what sort of trends you're seeing and things like that. But most probably you are not that far, because otherwise you wouldn't be watching this video, because this is what I help with. This is what I help companies to do, to collect that sort of data, to build up that strategic partner. But a big mistake that a lot of people do is that they have a very small knowledge base that is very biased to maybe it's very skewed to maybe one side, and it doesn't have the full holistic picture of your business or of your vision. And obviously, if you then spar with AI, it will not give you good recommendations at all. I've tried this many times when I haven't given it enough information, and it's not good at all. Now I've actually fed it a lot of information, and it's actually almost quite there. It's really not there. It doesn't always understand the things. So my critical thinking is always very critical when sort of sparring with AI and trying to come up with solutions and things like this. And to give you another concrete example is, for example, writing copy. So writing copy for your website, for cold emails, for ads, AI is not there. And if someone says that, AI is there, it's really good, it's automated all of my customer acquisitions and cold emails and ads and websites, they're lying, all right? Because AI is not there yet. I can tell you that from sending thousands of cold emails per day, AI is not there. And listen, it would be in my best interest to tell you that AI is really there. I've found a solution. Work with me and I'll give the solution for you. I'll give the agent to you. It would really be in my best interest to say that, I figured it out. But that's really not true. When it comes to copywriting, AI is really good at getting to, 80%. So the 80-20, AI is really good at the 80-20. So getting to 80%, AI is fantastic for it. And compared to most people, it's really good. So if you are not exceptional at writing copy, for example, AI will probably be better than you or at the same level. But if you're really good at what you're doing, you're really exceptional at what you do, then you will notice that AI, it's not at your level, especially in writing. And you hear a lot of authors also talk about this. Stephen Kotler, Alex Hormozi, AI is really not at the level where it would outright a human writer. So that's just one example of it. But really, the areas that matter the most, that are high leverage and that and where you are really exceptional, I would not rely solely on AI. AI can give you lots of ideas. You can definitely brainstorm with it, but I would not outsource sort of that part to AI. So that's a big mistake a lot of people do. They let AI write their copy, their website copy, their cold email copy, and then they wonder, oh, why am I not getting results? And then they're trying to find some agent or someone who has sort of like figured it out or something. But I can tell you, like, from working with a lot of AI, a lot of other people as well, there's nothing on that currently. In the future, I bet there will be in the future. But right now, and one of the reasons for this, just to sort of continue this point is that most of the frontier models, they have optimized code, because code will obviously be, because when you solve code, you can sort of solve everything. So that's why, for example, OpenAI and Anthropic, they're more focused on actually improving the code and AI writing code, because that then, that will essentially accelerate the self-improvement and get us closer to singularity. Because, I mean, that's sort of the superpower. If you have good code, you can then essentially solve anything. But getting to the second point is really, it's more about sort of like what you are doing in your company. And the biggest mistake there that I see constantly, and I've done this myself, I'm not blaming anyone, because once you learn a little bit of AI, it becomes so fun to sort of ship new products and new features. And that's essentially what I'm talking about. So AI has made it really easy to ship a lot of dumb features and to automate a lot of dumb things that are not the critical factor in your business. So when you're thinking about business, the most important thing, if you want to grow your business, is always to think about the constraint. So I'm talking about the theory of constraint, right? So what is the limiting factor of your business? And usually it's something to do with either like customer acquisition. So you're a demand constraint. You need more customers in the door. You need more distribution. Or then you are sort of supply constraint. So your capacity is full. You can't serve all of the customers. That's a lovely place to be in, by the way, to be supply constraint. Then you need to sort of figure out, hey, how can we get more people, more agents to work on our business to increase capacity? So you should always be working on your constraint in the business, because if you're not working on the constraint that is holding your business back, it doesn't matter how much you're working on other things. Because let's say you're a supply constraint in your business. It doesn't matter if your sales 4x, because you can't handle the customers. Right? So it doesn't matter how much outreach you could do, how many customers you could have, because increasing sort of customer acquisition at that point is only increasing your potential of the business, not the business itself. So thinking about your constraint is really important. So don't be the one guy, just shipping a lot of features and really never using it, or spending 20 hours automating a task that would have taken you maybe half an hour once, and you're really never going to use it again. Because like code has never been cheaper than before, but that doesn't mean that it's a good idea to do it, right? And you also have other forms of leverage as well. Like doing things with AI is not that's not the only thing you should be focused on. Like, yes, automate the things that will give you a positive return on investment, but otherwise you shouldn't just try to implement AI just because it's AI and it's cool and it's fancy. And the final point, the third point of the video, is really outsourcing your critical thinking. And this is something that I think a lot of sort of consumers and young people especially are doing today. Especially, people going through school right now and sort of trying to just, pass the grade and stuff. Like, a lot of people are just absolutely outsourcing their thinking to AI. And I've also had a couple of employees do this, where they will not think for themselves. They will just let AI do it. It's the end of the day, they're a little bit tired, and they're sort of outsourcing their thinking to AI. And this is something I'm very strict with, because if you now start outsourcing your thinking to AI, what will be your moat in the future? What will be your value in the future when AI is only getting better from here? Let me tell you that you will be the first one getting replaced. And it's simply that if you outsource all of your thinking to AI, you will get dumber over time. Like, your sharpness and your critical thinking abilities, they will degrade really quickly. And once AI gets better than you, like, like, what is the point of having you then? Like, once AI can do all of the same tasks that you can do, and it can think better than you, there's no point of like having you in a business, right? And you can't really differentiate yourself either, because if you are just outsourcing your thinking to AI, you will essentially have the same thinking as everyone else. So use AI in the places that it makes sense. So in the places where you can have a positive return on investment, think about like manual tasks, things where you want to scale your input, so you can maybe write a good piece of email copy and then you send it out to a lot of prospects. That's a situation where you get more leverage by using AI, or you automate your bookkeeping or your offers, or PDF creation or PowerPoint or whatever. So really think critically about, where should I use AI, where should I not, because it's almost as important where not to use AI than it is to figure out where to use AI. All right, and one final thing for you. If you want to decompress timeframes, you want to move fast in your business, you want to quickly start making good decisions about AI, about your strategy, about what to automate, and how to actually get a very positive return on investment, you can book a link with me in the description. It will be a discovery call. I'll go through your processes, and if we are fit and if I can help you, we can then talk some more. If not, I'll give you the analysis for free. This should be an offer, this should be an offer so good that only stupid people say no. If you have a business, if you're running a business right now and you have sort of been thinking of how to implement AI, you maybe implemented a little bit, but you don't feel like it has really changed your business, book the call, let's have a chat, let's see if I can help you, and if I can, I would be happy to do so. If not, no pressure at all. In this business, like I'm almost supply constrained right now, so that's no worries at all. And but have a wonderful rest of your day, and thank you very much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.